Hello, it's Andrew. I also go by Andreas. I'm saying hello. I wanted to talk a little bit about some issues that I've been having and just kind of keep you informed. Right now, I'm dealing with what seem to be different types of intelligences that are existing non physically relative to the physical world with which I am holding the device that is recording this video. And what you see behind as a wall, things like this, and my physical body. They have intelligence, they have forms, they look like things, they act in different ways, they seem to have personalities. They seem very much alive, and I experience them in my mind. And it may be my mind exclusively without entities that are living, or they may actually be alive. And I don't actually know whether or not they're alive. They seem to be alive, they act like they're alive, they behave like they're alive, and sometimes they feel like they're alive to me. Even more alive than human beings in the physical world and other lives in the physical world seem to me. I am right now kind of trapped between entities that look kind of like gray aliens and jinn, which are gray alien type entities. I mean, a lot of these jinn, I think, are gray alien type entities. And then angels. And I haven't seen any demonic entities for a while, truly demonic entities for a while, or anything like devils for a while. But these things, the angels and the jinn, if you will, or I don't know if they're all jinn, the gray types, they sure do act like demons and devils. I am being watched, I am being observed, and I'm being manipulated continuously. I do experience schizophrenia, and that seems to relate to spiritual realities that are beyond the physical. I don't know the truth. I haven't been able to totally find out the truth of this, but it sure seems like it is. And I have spent much, if not most, of the last many years of my life almost exclusively experiencing life, though with the physical body and from the physical body, in a metaphysical realm, in which I experience things in a somewhat physical way and in a very powerful way, though it is not the physical world that this sweatshirt and my body and this hat are existing in. It's very difficult. I'm being manipulated right now to try to accept things that are to try to accept wisdoms that are supposed to help me to feel better about different things, when it's not actually necessarily wisdom and it's not what I want. I'll give an example of this. I'm being forced to accept having partners, romantic partners, girls for me, who I would allow to have masculine partners as well when I don't want to have open relationships. And I'm supposed to allow them to be, these relationships to be sexually open, so that my partners are able to, whoever my partner or partners might be, are able to explore sexuality with other guys in a way that is considered free sexuality, when I just don't want that. That's not for me. And I'm being manipulated in such a way where I'm experiencing relief when I accept things that I don't want and don't like. Another thing that I'm trying to be, that they are trying to force me into being, is homosexual. Trying to convince me that I am homosexual and that I want to be homosexual and that it's better for me to be homosexual, or at the very least bi. But I can see that they're going to attempt to make me homosexual all the way. I don't want to be homosexual. I acknowledge that I could be homosexual. I acknowledge that I could be bisexual in some way. I don't want to be. I never have been. I never have been. I acknowledge that I could accept guys in that way. I don't want to. I don't want to. But these intelligences are trying to force me to do so. It's cruel. It's horrible to feel because they're manipulating my body and my mind in absolutely horrific and atrocious ways. This type of spiritual warfare and manipulation is so wrong. It is so horrible and it is so wrong. I don't trust the one called God. I don't trust God's regime. I don't trust those on the other side of God's regime with whom God is warring. I don't want to be a part of God's war, but I've been forced to be a part of this war or in the middle of it when I don't want to be in the middle of it at all or a part of it at all. I'm effectively forced to fight these angels and to fight these other entities using psychic warfare or psychic techniques to protect myself primarily and to try and free myself from a really horrible situation psychically. I am trapped right now. It's not fun. It's not okay. My energies are being suppressed. They're building and developing a shell around me. It's not okay. It is not okay. I mean, right now, I have this liquid substance. It's some sort of energy liquid or liquid energy that's being poured into my head that's causing burning sensation. It's kind of burning through my crown, burning through my head, burning into my brain. It does not feel good at all. I can see it in my mind's eye, and I can feel it as it's happening, burning me. I've had many different experiences. I have had all sorts of war instruments used against me. I've had all sorts of technologies, including AI, artificial technologies, that have been weaponized, used against me. These weaponized artificial technologies can do a lot of damage. The psychic realm is not so different from the physical realm. They can have technologies just like we can. These technologies can do functions or perform functions very similarly, if not in exactly the same way, as technologies can occur in the physical world. Some of them are quite advanced technologies. I don't like to call them advanced because they're horrible. If they were truly advanced, I think they would be peaceful, but they're not. They're weapons. These technologies are horrible. They are horrible, horrible weapons. They are destructive. They are damaging. They cause pain and suffering. They cause different types of bondage. I have had my soul cut out of my body. It was awful to have that happen. It's still not in my body. It hasn't been for, I don't know, maybe a year now. Something like a year. My soul's been out of my body. I've had my heart blown up. I used to have demonic intelligences living inside of my heart after it was blown up. All of this was due to spiritual attack caused by horrific events. I don't like this stuff. It is very real, experientially, and has a lot of consequences. My body has suffered in very extreme ways. I experience a great deal of muscular weakness and issues with, what's the word I'm looking for? Stamina. I don't have a lot of stamina in very many things when it comes to physical activities. And right now I don't have very much stamina at all. I have been made very weak because of these attacks. They have been extremely severe. Right now I'm having more substance poured into my head. And no, it is not healing substance. There is an attempt to make me look evil and be evil. They're trying to force me to be evil so they can point the finger at me and say, this one's evil. I have been about love and peace and harmony for basically my entire life. Aside from being forced to protect myself, utilizing weapons and techniques of things like martial arts, and yes, warfare as well, I have been a peaceful being that is promoting peace and harmony and wisdom and love and care in everything that I can. I have been forced and in some ways traumatically programmed to not be loving, to not be kind, to not be gentle and generous. This is one of the most horrific things that has ever happened to me. I do my best, but it actually, because of the weapons that have been used against me, causes me pain to be kind. If I'm kind, I experience pain and suffering. If I'm loving, I experience pain and suffering. If I try to forgive somebody who's acting against me and harming me, I experience pain and suffering. This is the type of warfare that those like God I have experienced have engaged in. Not have engaged in, engage in. And other entities as well. Many of these entities hide. They don't want to be seen. They want to be heard sometimes, but they don't want to be recognized as being different than somebody's own mind. They exist. Many actually believe in these entities. They call them demons. Some of them are demonic. Some of them are not. Some of them sure act like it, even the angels. The angels tend to be very insidious in how they work, because they hide behind the guise of being caring and loving and friendly. They utilize this as a tactic. God seeks domination, as far as I can tell. God seeks unification with God, while surrendering, this is a term used in warfare. When you have an adversary or an enemy, you do what? You surrender to them if you're giving up to them, or they surrender to you. You try to have them surrender to you if you're in a warfare situation. Surrender is a war term. This is not a spiritual term. They try to get you to surrender your will to them. That means your choice. That means your freedom. They try to get you to surrender your freedom to them. Why would anybody who is loving, caring, and wise ever ask you to surrender your will to them? It makes it very difficult for a being to get their will back, or it can. This is a form of spiritual slavery, and it is insidious. There is also something of a bartering system that occurs. You surrender your will to me, and then I do something for you with my omniscience and omnipresence and omnipotence. My all-awareness, my all-beingness, everywhereness, and my all-powerness, my all-power, my total powerfulness, whatever the word might be. They demand that you give to them before they do anything for you. And when you're dealing with God, if it is a deal, and it is kind of a deal, although you don't ever get to know the deal because God doesn't tell you the deal so much for the most part, but would wait for you to make a deal with God, and then you are contracted into an obligation with God that could be permanent, according to God. God uses contracts and contracts people and beings into different scenarios. This is spiritual warfare. God wants you to be contracted to God, as far as I can tell, in some way. God tries to dump karma onto others, including me. God tries to dump God's karma into my life and make me responsible for what God has done. Anyway, back to the unity stuff. Give up yourself. That's how the teachings go. Give up yourself to become one with everything so that you have no more self anymore. That's humility. Having no self is humility. And serving. You must serve. That is, there is so much stress put on service. Who are you supposed to serve? God. Well, why doesn't God serve you? And why, if God is omnipotent and all wise, why doesn't God serve you first? Why does God take so long to do things, and why does God do them in ways that aren't really like the most logical ways? Why does God wait for you to do things for God a lot of times, like service? well, you're doing this, then it's beneficial. In some ways, there are benefits that do occur when serving. However, why can't we be allowed to be healthy and well much more easily without service? If I am disabled, which I frankly am experiencing disability and have been for many years, why do I have to serve others when I can hardly get out of bed? How am I supposed to serve others when I can't think straight and I'm being attacked? How is this supposed to happen? Am I supposed to make a promise to God? Oh, if you do this for me, I promise I'm going to serve you. How about, by the good graces of what God is supposed to be, God heals me and stops this situation? Or any of these other entities, if they're so good. Why doesn't the divine do that? I have found that the divine may not be as good as the divine thinks they are. I don't like using the term divine. It separates a class of individuals from the rest of everybody else. There is the divine, then there is everybody else, the lay people. They try to say, you are divine, you are divine, you are divine. Why don't we just say we're part of one family of life? You are worthy, you are beautiful, you have power, you have intelligence, you have freedom, unless it's freedom that we don't have. We're supposed to surrender our will. We're supposed to surrender ourselves. Well, that's just a sign of trust. Yeah, well, sometimes they're not trustworthy, and I've experienced that. What comes first, trust or distrust? Or, that's not what I meant to say. What comes first, trust or results from trust? Should I trust somebody before they're acting in trustworthy ways? I've tried that before, and it didn't work out so well. Not well whatsoever. Anyway, this has been enough speaking for now. It's going on 20 minutes almost. So, thanks for listening. I appreciate anyone and everybody listening to this. I'm fed up with being psychically attacked. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to change this situation. Thank you. And until next time, if there is a next time from you, so long.